Going for 2's Sunday pregame show. We've got G here today. Gerson, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Are you healthy now? Are you back to 100%?
I can finally drink beer again, so I consider myself healthy. I know I'm a little hypocritical, but when I drank NyQuil and water all weekend, it was bad. It was funny because I never realized how many, I guess you can call them fans or friends, whatever you want to call them. They reached out to me saying they missed me on the show the week before, and they commented on the show on Friday, good to have G back, stuff like that really touches it touches deep because I put a lot of effort into my research. I put a lot of effort into doing videos. I put a lot of effort, I take time out. I don't have a Friday lifestyle on Friday night, I do the show, and then I go to bed. Well, I drink on the show. That's my lifestyle right there,
Hey, you know that show you're drinking on here soon as well, that Christmas party.
Oh, yeah, baby. You going to be on it?
Oh, yeah. I've got half a bottle of Angel's Envy bourbon waiting. I don't really drink, but I was like, hey, if I'm coming on there and everyone's going to get toasty, I might as well join.
There you go, man.
Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. We're going to take the kids to see Santa after the show. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you should be excited as well because you're not the only Browns fan in the chat today. You've got Jared as well.
All right. So now you're going to feel a little bit of my disappointment that I feel every week for the past 20 years.
Oh, my God.
Speaking of disappointment, are the Cowboys going to disappoint this week, Ben?
I don't know. You tell me. Do you really think that they're going to lose?
You never know at this point. I mean, with a Browns fan, a Raiders fan, and a Packer fan, it only feels right that your team disappoints at some point this year as well.
According to you, I'm a Bucs fan, so it don't even matter.
Yeah. You're whatever I want to make you that week.
Yeah,
nice.
No, you know what? You're gonna be a fish fan. Let's put him as a
fish. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I gotta take you back too, Ben.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I had to take a couple weeks off. I had a baptism and family and all this other stuff for the holidays, and let's get it going. I'm ready to make some money.
Don't forget about the bar mitzvah too.
And the bar. That's good.
But G, with no further ado, you can tell us about how it was to watch that Raiders game and how beautiful it was for everyone except probably Raiders fans. And then you can start firing away with your DFS stuff.
Yeah, I was not too happy about that Raiders Rams game. I was actually celebrating my nephew's birthday at a bowling alley, and I was watching the game on my phone. And I shot that bowling ball I wasn't happy. My brother said, "Dude, you're supposed to bowl it forward, not hit the ground with it." Right? I'm like, "Fuck you, dude."
That's actually a good strategy, to release stress. I think I'm gonna watch the games at a bowling alley now because now I can just chuck freaking balls down a pin.
But yeah, I mean, week 14, man, we're here, man. We're in the knit and grit of the final 8 weeks. I only play all the way till the playoff. After that, I kind of just take a little break. But so the elite tier, usually I would mention a guy like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, right? Not this week. This week I'm going to mention Joe Burrow, the Tiger King. He is 7,000. He has a great matchup against the Cleveland Brown. The Cleveland Brown. Sorry. I don't know what the status of. I think he is going to play. Maybe Jamie can help me out. Denzel Ward. I know he had an illness, and then he was dealing with an ankle injury or something like that.
I have not seen anything rolling him out.
I have not seen anything either yet.
So if he plays, okay, still doesn't scare me. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and then the tight end Wilcox is going to be a starting tight end. But I think not having Hurts is going to help Burrow go toward a more condensed target tree. You're going to give it to Chase, Higgins, and maybe some Boyd. But I love Joe Burrow at 7,000. I still think he's underpriced. Joe Burrow should be 7,800, 7,900. I'm going to have a lot of exposure to him, the next quarterback. Now, this is the part of the show where I'm going to tell you I'm going to have a lot of exposure to this game. You'll see me mentioning probably 8 guys the rest of the show on this game. Not Jared Goff. Kirk Cousins at 6,100 against the Detroit Lions. This is the highest total game this week, so I'm targeting that game quite a bit today. And I am kind of like worried because if that game fails, then I don't know if I'm gonna be able to turn on the light next week or have internet, or I don't know, even afford a natty light if I had to go cheap beer, dude. But I'm just hoping that it doesn't fail. It's Kirk Cousins, 6,100 against Detroit Lions. The implied total is 25.5 points. His ownership is 11%. Pretty high. What's his name? Joe Burrow's ownership 10%. These are the top 3 owned quarterbacks this week. So these are the sharp quarterbacks. I was thinking of giving you guys a contrarian one, but I just didn't feel good enough. These 3 quarterbacks are the quarterbacks I'm going all in this week, you know. Kirk Cousins, 6,100 against Detroit, and then Jared Goff. I can't believe I'm talking about King Goff, you know. I don't like Jared Goff on the road, but I like him at home. He averages 20 DraftKings points. He's quarterback at 11 price right now. He's 5,600 against the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings secondary is awful. Their run defense is actually decent, so I think that helps out Goff more than anything because we've seen Jamal Williams just get those stupid-ass ultra touchdowns. Shout out to Jamal Williams, too. You have more touchdowns than the whole Bronco team does, so that's pretty impressive. I mean, that's sad for the Let's Ride Nation, you know? Yeah, Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, and Joe Burrow, my 3 quarterbacks. If you were going to get contrarian and play someone else, I guess you can play what's his name on Geno Smith at 6,200 for Seattle, but that's it.
I feel like Geno there has probably the biggest risk, especially in comparison to even someone like Jared Goff there. Why? I don't know if I'd want to take that player just personally. Ben, Jamie, any thoughts on those?
I like the Goff call, man. That game should be pretty high scoring, and I actually have Detroit beating Minnesota this week.
I also have the same. So I agree.
Joe Burrow, man, that's who I put in mind, and I stacked him with like 2 or 3 of his receivers even. I like that call.
Bro,
go ahead, Ben.
No, I was going to say, while he was talking about his quarterbacks, like I was looking at DFS myself, and I like the Joe Burrow, but on this it was a little bit higher. I think it was like 8,200. But the Jared Goff, that right there, because I do believe it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be a shootout. I can see an Amon-Ra St. Brown day. So I love that Jared Goff pick. I'll ride with that.
And no, Jared Goff is my move there. You know, out of him or Kirk, I think the Lions win. I think, Jameson Williams, this is week number 1 of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where, Jared Goff's already been killing it relative to what we expected this year. So, I mean, I'm excited to see another weapon thrown in and to see that used against a shit Vikings defense. That in mind, G, what do you got at the running back position?
Running back position. So this week, running back is very interesting because there's elite plays that are great, and then there's mid-tier plays and there's value plays that are like, all right, which way am I going? Am I paying up or am I paying down? Me, myself, this week, I'm paying down because my roster construction is going to go toward a 4 wide receiver build. Because there's a lot of good wide receivers in a good spot, but the top running back today is Derrick Henry. I mean, he's facing the Jacksonville Jaguars. He had over 11, I think it was 1,054 rushing yards and 15 touchdowns versus what's their name, the Jacksonville Jaguars in his lifetime. So like that's almost like a full season of like running back 1 production. I mean, he's killed in the last 2 games. He faced them, gotten 34 points, 39 points. One game he had 215 yards. Another game he had 130 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, he had a big game before against them. Like, these are big games, but like the biggest game he ever had was the score was only 30-9. Maybe that's a score I can kind of see today, But in that 30-9 game, he had a 50-point game, 238 yards, 4 touchdowns, 14 yards per carry. I love Henry. He's really cheap. He's underpriced, 7,900. I'm gonna try my hardest to get him in my rosters, but if I want to be a little contrarian, if I'm playing in like single entrance, 3 max entrance, then I'm gonna go pivot to other running backs. But he is the highest owned running back right now. Oh no, he's the 3rd highest owned running back. The second highest owned running back is Joe Mixon, which is a running back I'm going to target quite a bit. Sorry, Jamie, but he's facing the Cleveland Browns.
I know. I play him too.
The way he played the Cleveland Brown is you run the ball through them, you know?
Yep.
So you're going to run the ball quite a bit. And Joe Mixon have had big games against them in the past too, but 24% owned right now. Vegas implied total again, 25, almost 26 points. I see a lot of volume versus him, and I understand people are saying, what is it called? Samaje Perine, is he going to get a bigger workload? I don't think he is, because there's been times where Mixon's been hurt before, and Samaje done his stuff, and then Mixon goes right back to being a workhorse, you know? The other thing is, Zach Taylor said earlier in the week, they asked him, like, hey, do you think Samaje Perine, like, basically carved out a role for himself? And Zach Taylor flat out said, Joe Mixon's our guy. He's a running back 1. He's going to get the workload. So that pushes back on that. And Zach Taylor is one of those coaches that he's not like Pete Carroll, where he talks out of his ass and he's full of shit. He actually just follows through, you know, what he says. I mean, he doesn't really hide anything. But Joe Mixon, those are my top 2 guys. The other guy I think is okay in that range is Tony Pollard, but that's just a guy I'm going to mention. My value running back. So this week value is hard. There's 3 guys I really like, but mainly on what I put on the sheet is DeAndre Swift. I'm going back to that Viking Lions game. DeAndre Swift, he's running back that game script proof. He can run the ball or he can catch the ball. And in this game, I think the Lions could be playing from behind, so it'll be more of a Viking. The Lions could be playing from behind, so it'll be more of a game script for a pass catching running back instead of Jamal Williams. I mean, I can't tell you how annoyed I am with Jamal Williams, but if you have him on your fantasy team, you must be happy. But I don't have Jamal Williams anywhere. So, but anyways, DeAndre Swift, he is 5,600 or 5,800. I don't mind him, but again, if you're playing him, he's gonna be in your non-golf, non-cousin stacks. He's just gonna be like a one-off play. I get it. People might play DeAndre Swift and the wide receiver I'm going to mention in a second. I don't want to do that because there's 2 ways that could go bad for you. One, Jamal Williams vultures his touchdown. 2, Amon-Ra St. Brown vultures his touchdown. And you have him in the same lineup, you know? So you're losing at least what? Let's say a 50% probability of a touchdown, you know? But DeAndre Swift, the other running back I'm looking at is James Cook. James Cook has finally got the workload last week. I don't know if it's a fluke, but here's the way I put it. He was getting an uptick in usage. And in this game environment, I can see it being a little bit more higher paced than before because finally the Jets are coming around. I said it for years now, 2 years now, straight, every single week, every show that I've been on. Anytime I mention Zach Wilson, it comes out like this. Zach Wilson sucks, you know? I always say that. And
fuck you.
What was that?
I said fuck you.
Oh, yeah, but I said it, and I'm right, dude. I said it, and I kept saying it, and it happens. Like
he's going to win the MVP next year because of all the haters, and by the MVP I mean the MVP of the CFL. But
yeah. I don't even think he can be in the CFL. I think he's actually going to go to the XFL.
Or the USFL. I don't know. They got so many alternates, and I don't know if he can win a job over there at this point. It's gotten bad quick.
He ain't going to Europe because all the religions out there, they don't support Mormons. So
you might find a new book the way this season's going. Also, Jared, real quick, says overs are 7-2-1 in the Cleveland versus Bengals history. Just to keep that in mind as well when you're looking at some of those guys in your DFS lineup. But what? So who you liking there, Ben? Who do you like at the running back position?
Well, obviously, Derrick Henry. I mean, I think Derrick Henry's going to have a game. He has a history with the Jaguars just blowing up. So I'm definitely going for Derrick Henry right here. And see, Joe Mixon scares me a little bit just for the fact that P-Ron's actually been doing good. I don't know if they're going to limit his workload. I guess the next one I would take would be DeAndre Swift, but like I said, like with Jamal Williams there, I mean, he's going to be taking them touchdowns, at least in my opinion. But PPR purposes, I would definitely look at DeAndre Swift.
I like DeAndre Swift a lot this week. Obviously, you have to worry about the touchdown vulture, but at the same time, I like the play. I like the value. I mean, especially at 5,800, Swift.
The value is where I'm sold on. For 5,800, I feel like that's a steal.
James Cook scares me a little bit more for a value play.
Yeah,
however, Joe, I really like. I would probably be doing a Henry Swift combo just based on those prices and going through week to week with UG and seeing how you're looking at some of these price points. I think that combo could really be productive there if you're picking two running backs. But Jamie, any thoughts on the running backs?
I actually like the James Cook call, man, because we saw last year Singletary was a league winner at the end of the year, and it seems like James Cook's getting more of the work. So I actually got him as my RB2 in one of my lineups. So I like that call.
My concern is the moment I would put my chips in on Cook is when Nyheim Hines shows up in town and says, "Hey,
remember me?
I'm the league winner today." But
yeah,
with that in mind, G, what are you looking at wide receiver? I know this is where you're getting spicy this week. You mentioned how you were looking at 4 wide receivers. Is that what you mentioned?
Yeah, and you can legit fit these 4 wide receivers if you play those 2 value running backs I talked about. I mean, if you play we just talked about it a second ago, and now I'm getting brain fart.
Cook and Swift.
No, so yeah, it's gonna be James Cook. You're not gonna be able to fit Swift there, but you play James Cook, and then a little extra DFS stuff today. I'm gonna give you my sick call of the week because I changed it, and I could not believe it. I put it on the sheet. I could not believe his price at all, and that's gonna help you. That's sick call of the week, and James Cook is gonna help you get these 4 wide receivers in your lineup. But again, you gotta have balls. I don't know about you guys. I feel like the South Park guy right now. I got balls.
I was gonna say I'm Randy Marsh jamming my balls in the microwave so I can throw them in a wheelbarrow.
Just getting a little cancer here, Stan.
So the number 1 wide receiver on the host slate, obviously Justin Jefferson. That's the line. It is pricey though, and that's what really pissed me off because there's so many good ways. If he was just like $1,000 cheaper, I'd be so much more happier. But it is pricey. He is 9,000. Facing the Lions, one of the worst secondaries in the league, one of the worst defense in the league actually, and on the turf field dome, which is what he usually plays in. So he should have a big game. To his extent, Jeff Okudah did cover him like week 3, but I think Justin Jefferson's just one of those wide receivers who's alpha, you know. I mean, he can have big games against anybody, the best. He's just so good. He's such a good route runner and overall great hands, obviously. The second guy is the guy I'm going to run it back with is Amon-Ra St. Brown. 7,800, way underpriced. This guy basically was what Cooper Kupp was last year. All the stats were very identical. They're very similar. Through his first 13 games, he had almost identical stats to what Cooper Kupp was facing. And the other thing is, he is $1,300 cheaper. $1,500 cheaper than what Cooper Kupp was usually at 9,000. You know, so 9,200, something like that. So you're getting a Cooper Kupp and Amon-Ra St. Brown. What's crazy that he caught in 90% of his passes in the last 2 weeks. I don't know about you guys, but if I knew I was a quarterback and I'm throwing the ball to a wide receiver and he has a 90% chance of catching it, I'm pretty damn excited, you know. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Amon-Ra St. Brown. The next guy is Mr. Garrett. Is that who I have next? Sorry. Yeah, Mr. Garrett Wilson. 5,900 against the Buffalo Bills. It did scare me a little bit on Friday when I watched the show and when I did the show, Tre'Davious White. But I looked deeper, and Tre'Davious White hasn't really done exactly elite. He's done good covering wide receivers, but Garrett Wilson, I didn't realize how great he's done. I look at his PFF grade, I look at other stuff, metrics and stuff, and he hasn't even exceeded his ceiling yet. Like back-to-back 26-point plus game, still 5,900 underpriced. I mean, I'm gonna have a lot of Garrett Wilson this week. He's gonna be a big core in my roster. Then DJ Moore. I mean, it's Sam Darnold finally. I mean, 6 for 4, 103 and a touchdown last week, but his price is still underpriced. I don't know, I feel like DJ Moore is that wide receiver in the NFL that in Dynasty or Redraft, you want to start him, and then in Dynasty, you don't want to trade him because you know he can be that top 10, top 5 wide receiver. You think he has that ceiling, but then you're kind of like, if you do trade him, you know you're going to get a low ball offer. So just keep him. And I feel the same way for DFS. 5,500. He could have a good game, and then he could have like a mediocre game, But those are my 4 wide receivers I'm going to have a lot of exposure to. I'm trying to fit them all in my roster, and it's going to be hard, but I'll figure it out. But those are my 4 wide receivers I love the most.
I have to say, DJ Moore probably scares me at this point. I mean, there's a lot of good value there. But, I mean, at 5,500 and that's your 4th guy, he's in that second flex, that seems too good to be true. Because his price has just steadily gone down a little bit at a time, over and over and over, right? Because that was a guy that was probably closer to $7,000 at one point. And then the hype is just slowly tapered down. But JJ, Amon-Ra, we know it's going to be high scoring, or at least that's what we're all expecting. I know we've got Jason over here saying DJ freaking Shark. We've got Jared over here saying Baby Shark. Everyone's into DJ Shark. I am going to say no thank you on that. G, what are your thoughts there? Yay, nay.
You can play him as a stack option, but I'm more just going Amon-Ra. I understand that the Shark play, but again, I'm getting cheap at running back if I have to and try to fit those wide receivers. But like the thing is, there's a cheap tight end that allows you to actually still pay up those wide receivers. So Shark will just be in my stack with Goff.
Ben, what are you looking at with those wide receivers?
I like all of them besides DJ Moore. I like Justin Jefferson. You already know he's going to get his. Amon-Ra, I believe he's going to have a big game. Garrett Wilson, I like the matchup with the Buffalo Bills, and we saw what he did last time against the Buffalo Bills. So it's just DJ Moore. The Panthers are not consistent with scoring points. They're the most inconsistent team with scoring points, and I just don't see it. Now that Sam Darnold still is back at the helm, I don't trust it. I don't. The only person I trust on that team right now is Dante Foreman.
Okay, yeah. I do have to disagree with one thing. I think Russell Wilson and the Broncos Nation want to have a talk with you. They're the most inconsistent team with scoring. So
are you gonna get?
But no, I agree with you. I mean, guys, I don't feel great about DJ Moore. I just love his price, and I'm hoping for that stealing game. But the 3 other guys, I'm smashing them in, dude.
Yeah, I mean, and Garrett Wilson at 5,900 that seems too good to be true valuation wise, especially the way Mike White's slinging that rock around. I mean, why not? And then Jamie, what are you thinking there?
I mean, I like that Wilson call. He had 23 targets the past 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just going to keep coming. And he did have 90 yards last time he faced the Bills, and that was with the quarterback that doesn't really throw the ball down the field. So I kind of like that call a lot. And obviously the same Brown, that's also one. But I do like DJ Chark this week. I have him in all my lineups.
The sick call running back. I'm waiting like a kid on Christmas Eve, says Triple Diesel. That is a Mr. J.K. Dobbins. And you had him,
Yeah.
what, $4,000? Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
on my sick call, is that what you're talking about? No, I'm sorry. What did you say, Zach? I got distracted with the news.
Oh, what did you have for the news?
No. What did you say? I got distracted. I was looking at a news report, but
What turkey dinner?
Oh, so someone was just asking what the sick call running back was, and I was just saying it is
okay.
J.K. Dobbins at 4,000.
Yeah, I'll just mention it right now. It's J.K. Dobbins, 4,000. The Baltimore Ravens, well, they lost Lamar. I know they say Huntley, the running quarterback. He is, but he's not going to get you 15 Ks like what Lamar does. They're not going to build the run game through him like they usually do for Lamar and whoever's there. They waived Mike Davis, so he's no longer in the backfield. It's just him, Gus Bradley, and Kenyon Drake. But the other thing is, people don't realize this, but J.K. Dobbins has been healthy for 2 weeks. He practiced fully participant the last 2 weeks. He was just on the IR, so you have to wait until the IR designation is gone. 4K for a running back is the lowest you can go. Like I said, this is a sick call, so like it's gonna be lowly owned. I wouldn't be shocked if J.K. Dobbins is like 1% owned. But the way I look at this, what if J.K. Dobbins falls into the red zone and gets a touchdown 2 times? He gets 12 points, right? That's median value right away. That's 3 times value. I'm gonna be ecstatic, you know. And the other thing is J.K. Dobbins can also be one of those running backs that gets you a 50-yard touchdown, you know. And the Steelers are a good defense, but we've seen them, they're kind of inconsistent. But I just think it's interesting that he's 4,000 and they waived Mike Davis, been practicing full. I think he's going to start, you know. They're going to be excited to get him back too, you know.
Oh, I get it. No. Ben, any thoughts there?
I mean, it's J.K. Dobbins. I don't want to hype up a man that I don't think is going to do that much, but anything could happen in a football game. So
I don't want any of the Ravens. They make me stressed out. I think it's a good play, good bargain at 4K. Like Jared said, watch JK get 20 touches at 4K. like we don't know. There is such a high difference between the one extreme and the other for what JK could do this week, and that's where, you know, at 4K it's worth it if you want to kind of take a risk and see, hey, am I going to get that ceiling or that floor? Jamie, what are you thinking at all that?
The only reason why I'm doing this is to get Justin Jefferson, Amon St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, you know. And to be honest, one guy I didn't list on that list that I couldn't because I can only list so many is Jamar Chase, underpriced, 7,900. I'm gonna have quite a bit of exposure to him. I'm gonna try to fit a way to get those 5 wide receivers, but
is J.K. Dobbins starting?
He should be. I don't know exactly who's gonna start, but the way I put it, they rotate their running back so much, and I'm just hoping for 1 touchdown, 50 yards. I'm not hoping for, well, obviously everybody wants 100 points out of one player, you know, but that's not going to happen, you know. But
way to crush my dreams.
Yeah, I'm looking for value because those 2 value running backs, James Cook and what's his name, J.K. Dobbins. If you put them in, you can fit any wide receiver you want. I mean, I have a roster right now in a tournament, a $150 tournament that has Jamar Chase, Amon St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, and Justin Jefferson, to give you an idea. So the fact that I could fit those 4 guys and then do my stack and then a defense, but yeah, it's interesting, but yeah.
I feel like how that would pay off is if Amon-Ra and Justin Jefferson just went off.
Yep.
That would pay off because some of those points would make up for the J.K. Dobbins pick. And even if he falls into the end zone, you know, that's even a bigger bonus because not everybody's going to have him. And that's points that you're going to go up and people are not.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at that sick call of the week, though, I am looking at Dobbins, and if I'm setting a lineup, I'm going to be putting in Dobbins over Cook. That's just my own personal preference there, just out of who makes me feel more comfortable. I know a lot more people like Cook more than I do, and I guess it's picking the lesser of two evils when it's two running backs that both scare the hell out of me. But
what? I want to get back to my little smart ass comment that I said about you gotta score, be inconsistent. But that is true. To be inconsistent means you gotta be consistent first. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to disagree with you, bud.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah.
So tight end, it's pretty straightforward. There's three guys I really like.
G, before you dive into the tight ends, real quick, Triple Dizzle, they're wondering thoughts on Corey Davis instead of Garrett Wilson. I'll give my quick approval. You will not be advancing in American Idol. That's whatever the worst negative answer could be. That's how I feel about Corey Davis. Quick thoughts there, Ben, Jamie. Or G just tells us the.
Yeah, no, definitely Wilson over Davis.
Yeah.
By the way, G, as you're about to share these tight ends, I love to see two of the names on the show sheet because the value tier guy is a guy I've had stashed in essentially all my dynasty leagues, a guy that I was high on. He was a 4th round target in all my rookie drafts, and I'm loving to see his name get brought up now. Please tell us who you've got at the tight end position.
So the elite tight end, you usually put Kelsey, you usually put Mark Andrews. The thing is, like I said, those wide receivers I think have potential to get you 30 points this week. So I'd rather just pay down. TJ Hawkinson, the number 1 tight end, he's 5,100 against the Lions. It is a revenge game, which I hate using that, but I mean, Hawkinson kind of got played dirty, right? He just got traded out of nowhere. He didn't even think he was going to get traded, and to an in division rival. Is that what you call it? Or was it in a division rival? Yeah. So that even puts a little more. But Hawkinson's been killing it since he got there. I mean, he basically everything Irv Smith Jr. wanted to be. And I guess you can pour one for my dead homies on Irv Smith because he ain't getting that job back. But 5,100. Greg Dulcich, man. I don't know if you guys seen. I call him Greg Dulcich Hook because he looked like the guy off Hook in his picture with the curly hair and the mustache. I'm like, is this guy like Hook or something, man? Like, but seriously, the thing about him, Cortland Sutton, it's gonna be him and Judy getting all the targets along with Kendall Hilton, I guess. But Dulcich has been practicing in practice this week in like wide receiver role. Like they said that he's been lining up on the wide receiver more than the tight end. So it gives me hope that he's gonna get like 8 targets, maybe 50 yards and a touchdown. So I'm going with Dulcich. He is gonna be the highest owned tight end, because he's such a good value. He's a really strong play today. Shikizum Okunwo. He's 2,700. This guy is a freak athlete. Like
now you're just hurting my feelings. I was excited he's on the show sheet, and then you're going to say his name like that. Come on now.
No, I said it right on Friday, though. I said it right on Friday. I just right now like.
You're waking up still. I got to give you a hard time, but continue.
Yeah, 2,700. He's a freak athlete. If you watch his combine metrics, he has a spark core in the 90th percentile. He's just fast. And the other thing is, he's not exactly just like, I don't know how to say this. He can run the ball too. Like he can get those tight end sweeps and run the ball up the field. He can jump over you. He's basically what Jonnu Smith was when he played for the Titans, but a little bit more wiggle room for sure.
And he was a guy that when the Titans drafted him, because you're talking about all the combine stuff that I was drooling over, they looked at him as more of a long-term project while, Hooper would be more of that guy. And he was impressing so much in camps and preseason where he was earning more reps right off the bat. He's good at blocking as well, so he's getting out there and he's going to have a higher snap percentage there, which is something to be mindful of too.
Yeah, and the other thing is Treylon Burke is out. So no Treylon Burke. Robert Wood, Yeah, okay. I don't know if Robert Wood excites you, but doesn't exactly give me a little bit of wood, But I'm out on him. But yeah, give me Shigo. I'm gonna have a lot of exposure to him. Him and Dulcich are gonna be my highest exposed tight end if I'm not stacking Hawkinson on the run back or stacking him with Cousins. Defense, guys, it's very simple. You play Cowboys defense. Cowboys defense, Cowboys defense, Cowboys defense. I'm almost either gonna have like 90% exposure or I'm gonna lock him in. I would never think that I'd be a Cowboy fan for one day, but today is the day when the Cowboys. That defense is gonna smash. The thing that blew my mind is that I went to Prize Pick because I always do like $100, $50 bet, one crazy ass. If it hit, it hits because if it hits, and that's $1,200 in my pocket. And I've already had a couple hit this year, but dude, Dallas Cowboys sack with 3 sacks. I honestly think they can get like 4 to 5 sacks in this game. And I was like, how the hell did they have over under 3 sacks? So, but then I didn't know this. They actually do fantasy points for defense. The fantasy point for the Dallas Cowboys was 7.5, I believe. So I was like, which one am I gonna pick? So I went with the Dallas Cowboys 7.5 points, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. Don't just think that you can only do players on Prize Pick. You can do defense too. If you were to consider 2 other defense, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Pittsburgh Steelers. I am sorry I know I ran a little long, but this slate is amazing today. Best of luck.
Oh, gee, real quick. I know you ran a. I don't even know if this is a long thing you would need to.
I'm just doing my original thing. One quarterback, one wide receiver. Okay, one quarterback, one wide receiver, one tight end, with a run back of a one wide receiver, tight end. I'm trying to set my exposure very, very simple. It's gonna be to that Viking Lions game. I am gonna probably set my limit to all my exposures to about 35%. I think I don't want to get too heavy on chalk players, but I also think today the GPP bros can really win if they're contrarian. Like if they fade those games. GPP bros is an inside joke in the DFS community. So it's basically people that just take a shot of fading the chalk. And I've only hit one time this year, trust me. And the GPP bros are broke right now, But I'm not a GPP bro. I just follow my research and I go for it, like I do what I want. But that's my strategy today. I do like that. But Joe, it's just I think if there's the Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jefferson is a great way to just do a 1-1 quarterback. Because there's so many other good positional players of wide receivers and running backs that you don't need to do a 2 wide receiver, and you need to save money to get to Amon-Ra and what's his name, Jefferson. But yeah, that's the way I'm gonna play it this week. But you always want to do running back, so to answer your question, Joe.
No, appreciate it. And we don't want to keep you any longer than we have to. If you got to set your lineups, we know you got this final period that you're slaving away on.
Yeah, but that's it. Oh, just to mention real quick, top stacks are Vikings, Cincinnati Bengals, Detroit Lions, Seattle Seahawks, and Buffalo Bills. But likely I'm going with the top 3. You can find me at the Fantasy GDFS, the Friday show, and we're gonna have that Christmas show. That Christmas show is gonna be so much fun. I did it a couple years ago, and it was a lot of fun. And the thing is, the GoingFor2 family gotten bigger and a lot better. Zach, having me there, Ben, Jamie, all you guys here. I mean, it's fun stuff, man. Like, honestly, we just drink. We don't talk football. We talk live. We talk real, like, Christmas stuff. And
I've been doing my research on who I'm taking in our little fantasy draft of Christmas characters. I've got a long list ready to go. I'm coming prepared. I did my homework.
I mean, Santa the 101, right? But
yeah. Not even. Buddy the Elf. Come on.
Oh, dude. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. Good luck this week. Message me if you have any questions. Much love to you guys. Take care of yourself.
Hey, good luck. You take care, G. Good seeing you. All right, before we jump into start sits, today's show is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Not only do they offer best ball leagues, but they have pick'em contests in which you can win up to 20 times your money. No head-to-heads, no lineups to set, and you don't need to beat 20,000 other entries. Simply pick higher or lower on up to 5 player props for a chance to win. Download the Underdog Fantasy app for iOS or Android and use our promo code GF2 to get a deposit match up to $100. They have player props for NFL, NBA, NHL, and World Cup and more. Again, the promo code is GF2. Get the app, use the code, place your bets, win money. It's that easy. And with that in mind, let's jump into the start sit portion, and then from there we'll also talk a couple of bets. Any start sit dilemmas you guys are currently facing? Almost all of mine are, do I play the guy with a 2-point projection or a 1-point projection because everyone's on a bye?
Dude,
yeah,
it's insane this week. Like, who did they really just decide, you know what? We're going to put all these buys on week 14. Like, that just makes total sense, especially for us fantasy players, right?
Yep.
They don't care about us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, absolutely no care at all.
No,
but I am in a predicament right now in RB2. So I have Isaiah Pacheco at Denver, Damian Pierce at Dallas, or Zonovan Knight at Buffalo.
So that's easy for me, man, because I'm gonna go Pacheco.
I'm gonna go with Zaddy, aka Zonovan.
So right now I have Zonovan Knight in my RB2, just for the fact that right now I believe he's the most consistent. I mean, 118 total yards in the last 2 weeks. He's averaging about like 18.5 touches in the last 2 games, which would, I guess, technically be ranked, I think, number 12 in the NFL right now. And I like the matchup with the Buffalo Bills. But Isaiah Pacheco is definitely one I would be eyeing. But the fact that he's facing Denver scares me a little bit because that defense is pretty good. Damian Pierce, like, what happened, man? I was so amped up in the beginning of the season. He was doing so well. And then, like, they can't get it together.
I want to give some start stats. I mean, I just don't have any. I don't have any options. My teams are either, doesn't really matter because we're already clinched our playoff spot. We're in a good spot, or we're down bad, and it's like I've got Okonkwo in my flex. Because as much as I like him, it's like, well, shit, anyone else on my team is not even there to consider. Jared he's saying he likes the Chiefs in the Pacheco with, yeah.
No.
Tries too hard. That's all there
I
is
like
to it.
Pacheco. I think next year he's going to be that dominant number one. Like, he could potentially be that dominant number one come time, but
I can't believe you would even say that about a Chiefs running back, because I feel like we say that about a different name every quarter of a season.
I feel like that too. I feel like that McKinnon, he's doing his job and he's getting catches in the back too. It could be anybody's game ball in that game. That's what I know. It's going to Zonovan Knight for the most part. Even if Michael Carter plays, he's not 100. I don't see him getting the workload. So, that's the way I'm looking at it right now. So as of right now, I'm taking Zonovan Knight, but Pacheco is like right there next to him.
I don't think you can go wrong with either. But
yeah, I mean, both are in my top 20. So
yeah. So.
But yeah, I actually have a Pacheco one. It's a Juju or Pacheco.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go Pacheco on that one just because he's guaranteed the touches.
Yeah.
Juju scares me there. So
yeah.
I would go Pacheco also. Yeah, Juju's not doing anything.
No, yeah, this one, earlier Jason was wishing some evil upon my team. Still, fuck you, Jason. He wants, by the way, for you to get the 104, you can't get the 104 because when I was looking at the standings, he's 5-8 is the 104, so that's not going to happen. But you also need the 2 teams behind me to win, to knock me out too. Putting that evil on me, jerk. But that one, to give you an idea of where I'm at, I mean, like A.J. Dillon, Jonathan Taylor, Chris Olave, Chase Claypool, Christian Watson, Cole Kmet, all on buys for me, along with Darren Waller on the IR, where, we're getting into some murky waters. We've got Laviska Shenault in a wide receiver slot right now.
Oh, wow. That's rough.
Want to throw up a little bit looking at that. Oh, here we go. So start 3, Waddle, Chase, Hopkins, Evans.
Probably going to go Waddle, Chase, Hopkins, start 3.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about Mike Evans scares me, but at the same time, it is the Arizona defense. Jamar is my for sure, of course. Waddle too. It's down to D-Hop and Evans there.
Well, I got D-Hop in my top 10. Evans is a little bit farther down, like 15, 16-ish. Just because he needs that touchdown, and who knows if he's going to get it the way Brady. I don't know.
Yeah, but I look at both of them where I don't love that game. That could be a very low-scoring, very underwhelming game, or that could be a really just a shit show, high-scoring game. I don't really want to. I don't know, Ben. What are you looking at there?
Okay, hold on.
You got to pick
before
3.
Before that, I'm sorry. Sorry, I had to go. My wife screamed to the top of her lung, and I thought something happened with my child. I had to pause it and run over there. Turns out there was a little baby spider on the freaking wall.
Oh,
That was oh my god, crazy.
I thought you were going to tell her. I thought you were going to tell us she screamed because she realized she had to, play like Tony Pollard or something in the starting lineup. No.
Hey, Tony Pollard is out. She would do that to me, just like scream to the top of her lungs. You wouldn't believe it that Tony Pollard is out. I don't know why. I'm like, shut the hell up.
But what are you looking at there with Jared's question?
What was it again? I'm sorry.
Pick 3: Waddle, Chase, Hopkins, Mike Evans.
Ooh, okay.
For me, it's between D-Hop and Mike Evans. Jamie has D-Hop projected higher than Evans. For me,
so I'm picking 3, right?
Yeah, talk about
I'm
too
definitely
much
going
riches, though. You're like, oh, which one of these great wide receivers do I want to throw on my bench this week?
Man, if I had to, it would probably be Mike Evans. I would have to because D-Hop is going to get his. Chase with Burrow, I think, is going to have a huge game today against the Browns because they're going to have to throw it. And Jalen Waddle is just amazing, and the fucking Chargers. I mean, come on, man. How many times have we seen the Chargers choke?
I like Evans there, but my concern is that the defensive front of the Arizona Cardinals get enough pressure on Brady, and the big difference this year with how Brady has performed is the fact that he won't
it's Tampa and San Fran.
Yeah, but
right?
I'm just talking in general with the defensive front though. I don't like the pressure coming at Brady because of he doesn't even consider pressure at this point. He throws it away. He's always been that way, but it's even more of an extreme now, and that's what concerns me. And that's where I would look at someone like D-Hop and Kyler is going to do Kyler. I don't want to bet. I don't want to bet on Evans getting that production.
Plus, Godwin's been seeing a lot of targets lately.
Would I surprise you if I said that the Falcons might take the division?
I mean, what about the Panthers? They're still in it.
Honestly, I'm thinking Desmond Ridder might come out of nowhere, bro.
I don't even know. I don't know.
I mean, it's a long shot. I'm not saying. I mean, it's Tom Brady. Everybody's expecting Tom Brady to go to the playoffs, and I wouldn't be shocked if it happened. But what if that happened? I'm just looking up. I was watching old college tape on Desmond Ridder, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it could happen.
I don't even want to hear the name Desmond Ridder right now. I've been reading too many recruiting articles about University of Wisconsin now that we have Luke Fickell, and now they're talking about this 3-star guy that had committed a month ago from the state of Colorado that was undervalued. I guess he's a dual threat QB, and now it's like, is this our Desmond Ridder? And I'm like, stop. Can't even hear it. Wisconsin hasn't had a quarterback since Russell Wilson, so don't even mention a Desmond Ridder of Cincinnati coming to Wisconsin kind of thing.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
No, Jamie, yeah, Jared's noticing the pain in your face, though, about the Browns sucking. But
yeah.
He knows. He knows.
It's like my wrestling face.
day.
I'm so used to it.
At least he can suffer. He's not suffering alone because, I mean, hey, I'm a Packer fan. We're down bad. But I have Jordan Love and Christian Watson in my future. I just got to get rid of the ayahuasca enthusiast, and we'll be good to go.
And I already know what's going to happen with my Cowboys this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Every year. Go to the playoffs and then we'll choke.
Some wide receiver won't catch the ball in a crucial situation, and
and the rest screw us.
Don't screwed you. I think your wide receivers just need to learn how to catch a ball.
Yo, I feel like the way the game is played is always changed during a Cowboys game, and then the year after that, it's totally different.
Yeah, I just think you need to learn how to catch it because Des never caught it. So I mean, that's the main issue there.
But now he would have.
No,
right?
no,
it
was never a catch.
Okay, just saying.
Even in the moment,
changed after that play.
Even in the moment when I was watching that game at a bar, I was like, "Oh, that's a fucking catch." But my whole thing is just any Cowboys fan. I was
actually in Wisconsin when that game happened.
Des didn't catch it. That's just what I say always, just to stir the pot with the Cowboy fans. Because I know some of you, that's like those are fighting words right there.
Oh, he caught it. He caught it. I don't want to hear shit.
No. Your playoffs are done because he didn't catch it. But hey, the Packers did the same thing they do every year, which is lose the next round anyway. Any more start sits? Or are we going?
I got a couple of them.
All right, let's fire away then.
All right, so I got another one that's a running back situation I have. So I'm looking at Dante Foreman against Seattle, Rashad Wright against the 49ers, and Jeff Wilson against the Chargers. That's what I'm looking at right now.
Whoa. I was listening, but I got distracted by this ridiculous statement. My Vikings are still better than the Cowboys, says the guy supporting the franchise.
We just beat you guys.
And they're the worst 2-loss team in NFL history. They're the second worst 3-loss team in NFL history, and they haven't even lost a third.
Don't get me wrong, bro. I think the Vikings are a good team. They deserve to win that division. But
but I mean,
I don't think the Vikings are better than the Cowboys. We beat you with Cooper Rush last year, and then we beat you this year. So, I mean, until then, your opinion is just biased.
He says 10-2 greater than 9-3, but guess what? They can't stop a nosebleed, and they're about to get smoked in the playoffs. But I mean, the Vikings do what they do.
Baby.
They do what they do best. They go into the playoffs. They get their hopes up of their fan base. And then they're just absolutely devastated by something. So it'll happen. They have the Minneapolis Miracle, but I believe that was a first round game.
I would take the Bills over the Vikings. Do that math.
I mean, they have a lot more Super Bowl appearances. But back to your start sit. I don't need to just keep bitching about Jared and Vikings fans all day.
Dr. Foreman at Seattle, Rashad White at 49ers, Jeff Wilson at the Chargers.
Man.
Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, I was going to say Jeff Wilson, man, because besides last week against San Fran, he's had over double-digit fantasy points since he went to the Dolphins, and I think they could run the ball on the Chargers.
Mozart's playing.
Yeah, okay. They are going to split, but we saw when they did split, Wilson was getting over 60% of the snaps. It just seemed like the better running back.
I 100% agree with you. And with all these running backs, I wouldn't mind starting any of these running backs, to be honest with you. I like all three. But for some reason, Dante Foreman is just screaming at me right now.
I mean, go with your gut.
He scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Bro, if they have to score somehow, and they have to have a game plan. Sam Darnold's at the helm. I can see Foreman running with
I mean, they still got Chuba Hubbard, man.
Chuba Hubbard hasn't done nothing yet, though. What has he done?
He's gotten a lot of hype for being a fairly early draft pick and
a lot of
when
hype.
he was coming out of college.
A lot of hype.
Yep.
No. Well, where's the production?
I remember when he was supposed to be my handcuff to CMC at one point. So much for that. No. By the way, I am not salty, and we can't be irrelevant because the Packers are still discussed more on every show and on every network than your 10-2 team. So even if it's about ayahuasca, that's besides the point. You just gotta loosen up the mind and learn how to set some good fantasy lineups by picking not Foreman, anyone but him.
Yeah, dude. Watch Foreman have a game, bro. Watch. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Didn't he do that? I want to say that wasn't that this week last year, where he kind of just stole the show in Carolina for a good week. I want to say it was this week, where I know he had one good one, and it was just a very inconvenient time if you're depending on Chuba to be that guy.
I don't know, man. You think Chuba's gonna do something? We'll see, man.
I don't, because every time I've actually wanted it or needed it, it has not been him. It's gone to anyone else. Oh, we just signed him that week. Oh, just give him the reps instead. Yeah, that's how that shit always goes. Well,
Jeff Wilson, I like him too, but the fact that Mozart's playing, I mean, I had him in my parlay. I actually wouldn't mind taking him again in my parlay. I might add him on again.
I look at it more of how much do you think the Dolphins are winning by a good amount?
I think it's going to be a close game, back and forth.
I think they might win by 4 points.
I look at a lot of the points coming from that late workload. Like that they're trying to kill clock late. And that's where I think I really want to depend on them the most there. But it's a tough spot. I mean, unfortunately, none of those running backs are really guys you want to be depending on, right? Right now, there's a lot of high variance there. But I'm going to go with Wilson. Yeah, I mean, that's the only Garrett Wilson and Jeff Wilson are the only Wilsons worth starting in fantasy right now. It's definitely not Mr. Russell Wilson.
I mean, nah, not Russell Wilson.
No, I'm starting Kenny Pickett over Russell Wilson this week.
I mean, Kenny Pickett actually hasn't looked bad since he came back from bye either. He's really reduced his turnover ratio, so I like that. Jared's saying too, Tony Jones is starting over Homer. I feel like I want everyone to see this. Yeah, I'm one believing. Yeah, I don't know. That's another backfield that stresses me out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's so many just ugly situations. I wish Kenneth Walker didn't have a concussion because that would have been a smash play. Man, it's rough right now. Any other start sits? Any bets coming up that you guys are eyeballing?
I got something that I think that's going to be a lock. And I know Gerson talked about him earlier, but Hawkinson, man, with this revenge game narrative, it's not even that, but he's seen over 6 targets since he's been a Viking. He had like 9, 10, 9, 6, and 6, and he hasn't went under 4 receptions except for the 1 week where he had 4. And so I'm taking the over. It was 4.5 receptions for Hawkinson, and I'm smashing the over on that. If he gets like 9, 10 targets, he's definitely going to catch 4.5 of them. Even if he gets 6 targets, he's going to catch 5.
Agree with you on that. I like Hawkinson.
Yeah.
I like Hawk. Yeah. The same thing we were talking about earlier during the DFS portion. No, I like Hawk this week for sure.
Yeah.
I like that play a lot. Ben, you got any bets you're looking at?
Yeah, I actually have a 6-leg parlay that I actually put in that I'm like really in love with. And I had Jeff Wilson. I had Jeff Wilson with the over at 42.5 rushing. I took that out and I replaced it with something else, but I'm thinking about putting it back in. So
how about replacing it with Damian Pierce under yards? Because everyone's off Damian Pierce. We've all talked about it.
I have to let me see how much. Hold on, can you look that up for me?
The over under
on the rushing. But as of right now, I got a Monroe St. Brown. I'm taking the over on him at 87.5 receiving yards. Then I'm getting an anytime Zeke Elliott touchdown. Tony Pollard, I'm taking the over at 68.5 rushing yards. Derrick Henry, I'm taking the over at 89.5 rushing, plus an anytime touchdown from Derrick Henry. And then I'm going to take, I know you hate it, Zach, but I'm taking Dante Foreman over 62.5 yards. That is what's going to make me my money. It's going to go up. Boom.
Over 62.5. Sheesh.
Telling you, man.
Are you at total yards or rushing yards?
Rushing yards. Telling you, man. Dude, Seattle has allowed 25.1 fantasy points to running backs per game this year.
I don't hate it. It's just some of those rushing only yards get me a little nervous.
All right, so
I had one of those
last week. He had 24 carries for 130. Or not last week, he was out, but 24 carries for 113 yards against the Broncos.
Yeah,
and that's a good defense.
So Damian Pierce is 63.5 rushing yards.
I would rather take the under on Damian Pierce.
Definitely under.
What is it again?
63.5 against the Dallas defense. Yeah, so that's a great one.
I'm adding that. So you might as well say this is a freaking 8-leg parlay. I'll put the Jeff Wilson over 42.5 rushing, and I'll put that on it.
And then another one I like is St. Brown over receiving yards because he's hit it 3 of the last 4 weeks. He's had 7 receptions a week. So I saw that in your notes. I was like, that's a great one. Plus, even if they're behind, they're going to throw it. Even if they're not behind, they're still going to throw it to them.
And Tony Pollard and Zeke have been eating all of the last couple of weeks. They've been getting over 70 yards, both of them. So it's like you can't go wrong with either or. I think Zeke is 63.5 and Tony Pollard is 68.5. And I wouldn't mind smashing the over on both of them.
Oh, I'm not placing any bets today, unfortunately. I pulled my money and ran after the winnings I was trying to use to win some more was wasted on the Raiders the other day. So today I'm just taking
bet
a
on
little.
The Raiders?
Oh, it was a live bet. I mean, it was a good one, and then they collapsed. I should have just pulled.
The only place in Vegas where the house loses. Come on, bro.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was you don't even lose a lot sometimes, but just like that one bet that just rubs you the wrong way, where you're like, all right, I'm just one.
I feel disgusted. Yeah. I'm turning off my laptop.
That's how I felt. Yeah, I was like, it's like I don't even want to look at DraftKings right now or FanDuel. I'm like, no, we're just not going to place any bets for a couple days. And Jared wanted to know before we go as well. Said how was curling? You've always wanted to try it. So I work at a country club and we're doing. We do curling outdoor. We have an outdoor skating rink and we have 4 outdoor sheets for curling. And it's fun. It's a good time. I mean, I've been working it, so I mean, I'm usually just there, kind of helping keep score and make sure all the country club members and the guests that join them to play know the rules, know the technique, the form, all that. It's a good time though. It's I did not realize those stones are as expensive as they are, but also as heavy. The Olympic stones are 45 pounds. We have a high-end recreational stone. Those are 25 pounds each. So the big thing is trying to tell people, because we talked about bowling earlier, hey, let's not toss them like they're bowling balls, because these puppies aren't 8-pound bowling balls. They're 25 pounds. And it's also not hardwood or, whatever kind of flooring they have at a bowling lane, but guess what? It's ice. And if you drop that 25-pound thing with some force, it's going to absolutely destroy our ice, and we will just have to close the lane for the rest of the night. So, yeah.
How long does it take to maintain that ice? Like if you want to start from scratch.
Well, it depends on the weather, since it is outdoor. That's the big tricky part is that, right now it is 38 degrees, but however, we had freezing rain 2 days ago, so we only had 2 lanes, whatever you want to call it, open because there was 3/4 of an inch to an inch of essentially unskatable, unplayable ice that was uneven, that was brought in from that freezing rain. So they had to go in, and luckily I was working an event upstairs, so I was in my suit and tie looking down, and I'm like, oh, those sons of bitches are just scraping away on these 2 lanes trying to remove all that ice. And there are other techniques, but unfortunately the faster techniques are melting it with the flamethrower. I'm not sure if you've seen that on my story at all as well, Jared, but we can't
You
melt.
operated a flamethrower?
Oh, I started the fire. We have a fire pit too for the members, and they asked if I would start the fire pit. I put some logs in there and I walked over with the flamethrower and I just started lighting the shit out of the wood until the fire was up on its own. That's the easiest way to start a fire. But no, unfortunately, we can't melt the ice when we're already at the highest level of where we need our ice to be. Because when you melt it, yeah, you're pushing it down, but at the same time, we already had our threshold for where we needed our ice to be. So then it went above, and you melt. Yeah, it'll freeze, or it'll come down, but then it's going to freeze and still be above where we need it to be. So the only way to get rid of it is to scrape the shit out of it with ice picks and these scrapers, and then shoveling it out. And a lot of manual labor, big workout, but no, it's a good time nonetheless. And yeah, now I get to do some curling clinics in this coming week to teach people how to play, and then we're doing leagues and tournaments and all that. So it's a good time. It's not the official curling though. We don't have the sweepers, all that. It's more of we call it bar curling.
You gotta have the sweepers.
Hey, you gotta have a lot more space, and we don't have that. But no, it's interesting. You have glycol piping underneath to keep the ice frozen. There's so much structure and infrastructure to it, even for an outdoor rink. That blew my mind. But for the longest time, our ice wouldn't freeze it wouldn't maintain frozen due to just being high 40s one day, low 30s the next. But now we're kind of consistently at that low to mid 30s. And then soon enough, while I've been wishing for colder temps as of right now, since I've been helping out with the ice stuff, I'll be regretting those words soon enough when I'm out there and I'm freezing my ass off because, it's 0 degrees. But
I feel you.
I'm
outdoors working all the time, so I know how you feel.
Yeah, I'll have to put more of those on my story as well, so that everyone can kind of see what it's like over there with all the fun we're having out on the ice. I mean, the flamethrower is one of the best parts, though. I love that. And then just getting out there and tossing some stones. And I mean, hey, I'm batting 1,000 right now. I was telling you guys pre-show, feel like the prettiest girl in school the way there's always a coworker that they're like, hey, we got someone that was eyeballing. Are you single, Zach? And I'm like, yeah, I am. Yeah. Doing all the work for me. What a life. I get to curl, I get to talk to good people, and then they have a coworker they want to set me up with. Life is good. Now I just need my fantasy teams to win.
Facts.
But Ben, you want to tell everyone where they can find you at?
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok, Twitter at Dr. F Goods PPR. I'm mostly putting out, fantasy advice, skits, for fans and everything like that. It's some funny stuff, so come check it out. Give me a follow. And I'm always here Sundays, going for 2. All the way to the end of the season. Let's get it.
He'll put out, but he doesn't pull out. He puts out, but he doesn't pull out. And I know that because he had a baptism last weekend, and that's why he wasn't here. But we're glad to have you back.
Oh, thank you. Hold on. One more thing before I leave. Who is your playoff savior today? For all those bye weeks, who are people plugging in? Who do you think is going to save the most teams?
Ooh, the most teams?
Who do you think is going to save the most teams?
It's got to be the Zonovan Knight, right?
I think Dante Foreman, baby. He's going to be the savior.
I I guess right now, looking at my teams, it's not good on who I'm depending on.
I'm talking
It's
about
going
overall. Who do you think is going to be that?
Okonkwo.
That's a good one.
Okonkwo?
Yeah,
My
I like that play.
My
Okay.
man.
All right. What about you, Jamie?
Me, I don't know, man. I'm thinking that Zonovan Knight or Pacheco, like someone that was really cheap, that no one really played in the beginning of the year, and then now they're just gonna save their playoffs. It's got to be one of those two, Zonovan Knight or Pacheco.
Okay. All right. Not bad picks.
Yeah, Okonkwo's the one. I'm hoping this is the chance. I mean, even the OC was saying how he's earned the opportunities and they want to get him more involved. Like, let's see it. And don't talk about it, be about it. Give me them 20 fantasy points this week. Give me 2 tutties. No, that's now we're just getting carried away. If that happens, he will be the league winner then. Jamie, tell everyone where they can find you at.
Of course, I'm here at GoingFor2 every Sunday morning with you guys. Also on the Tuesday night cheat sheet, and then also at the Rum Boys Fantasy Football Network. And I want to give a shout out to the Fantasy Football Discussion Facebook group, man. You guys are awesome.
Woo woo.
Woo. And then you can find myself on Twitter at the Big Pellowski. Otherwise, you can find me here every Sunday morning. And otherwise, I'm mainly just lingering around on Twitter, observing my World Cup stuff right now. Otherwise, we're locked in on basketball. There's some baseball signings going on, some trades happening there. But, more importantly, we're focused on making those playoffs. Good luck, everyone, in your fantasy matchups. I hope you can clinch those playoff spots, or if you already have them, I hope you can get that bye. Let's get ready to go and go win some titles, get some payouts, and be making some money. But everyone, thank you for joining. Have a good week and good luck.
Woo.